Hello. Sorry we're late. Sleepy but good is basically how I feel. Trying not to get everyone on that. But I'm happy to be here, have things to do, so definitely need the stream. Veronica's already on her second thing of caffeine, so
jealous.
I don't know that I want to have like caffeine, but I do need something to wake up. My mom did make me breakfast, which should help in some capacity, but also I might need to like drink a Snapple, which theoretically has some caffeine because it's like peach tea in it, but then also the sugar will definitely wake me up at least for a bit. So we'll see. If anyone is new here and does not know who my amazing dog is, Riley just wandered in, which is a rare occurrence. So this is my baby. She's a Havanese. Her name is Riley. She turned 14 on Thursday. And I am cherishing every single day I have with her because we did not think she would live until Labor Day last year when we got some scary medical news, but she is doing better. I mean, it's still a thing, but we're handling it. And she's so good. And she's so cuddleable. Riley, yes. No, I trust you, Veronica. I thought maybe you'd been up since like 5 and like done a video chat with Chandra. Amara, would you like to introduce yourself to anyone who might be new and lurking?
Yes, hello. I am Amara Franklin. I'm a caffeine-addicted single mom who has not had any caffeine and will be doing that soon. I write words and read books, and I talk to myself on the internet in all of the places down below. Well, some of them need to be updated, but yes, most of the places down below.
And you also?
Oh, yeah, and I have my shop, Things I Made While Caffeinated, where I have just lots of items that all say a few different things. There's like one for if you like to write, and one for people that like to read, and one for people that basically just want to say like F big tech and big business ruining everything. And that one I donate 50% of the money I make to the ACLU, which I just did on Friday. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. She's gonna leave me. I have to work. Yep, and she shook off my hug. My Riley is a dog who acts like a cat. If you are new as well and don't know who I am, my name is Zara Hoffman. I'm the founder of Inimitable Books, a small publishing company dedicated to uplifting marginalized voices while pigeonholing authors into writing about their trauma. Hold on, I am unprepared. Where is my copy of Mother Mercy, which we just had a signing event of? Hold on.
You didn't see me yawning. I like it too. Thank you. Oh, I moved my chair screen.
Mother Mercy by Chandra Arthur came out on March 31st, and then we had a signing at Barnes & Noble 2 days ago. birthday, and we live streamed it well, and I'm so proud of Chandra. If you haven't bought this book yet, you really should. All Inimitable book titles have extra content in the hardcover versions, and a lot of them also have really well, they all do, but the ones with foil underneath them always have fun stuff because it being foil, when you move it in the light, it changes appearance. And Amazon slashed the price on this book so that it is the hardcover is currently $7.73, which is less than the Kindle book, which is $9.99. So this is really a steal to get the hardcover of this book. Please be aware of the trigger warnings in the book, which are also listed on our website. But it's an amazing book. I love it so much. We really need this type of book right now. And everyone who's read it has loved it. So please check that out. Lastly, if you are new here to this channel or my sprints and streaming, you do not probably know what the Forest Room is. It uses an app called Forest, which is a productivity app. And you go into the app. Hold on. So it looks like this, and you tap it, and at the top of your screen, you tap this, so you get these options, and you want to be in the timer, so you get these three options. You want deep focus mode turned off, because once you turn on Plant Together and you click on join room instead of create room, you enter the code that will be up on screen. These do not work in replays. And once you're in the room and the sprint starts, if you were to get a phone call while you were in deep focus mode, it would kill the room for everyone. So this just avoids that. When you're planting on your own, you can turn off Plant Together feature and turn on deep focus mode so that your phone literally doesn't let you get distracted when you want to be working. Okay, all that said, Bravo Uniform November 3 Juliet Alpha Sierra Golf. The code is up. For people who don't use Forest, they are totally fine, because we will be also sharing a 25-minute timer up on screen. That timer has ASMR built into it. So if that sound annoys you, feel free to mute and come back 25 minutes from the time that we start the timer. We will be starting this sprint in a minute or so. So 15 plus 25 is the 40-minute mark in everyone's time zone.
That tree is very pretty.
Yes. And then I saw a comment from Veronica that she made an ellipsis account, currently obsessed, trying to scream it to all my co-writers. I made an account back when Gray first brought it up, and then Kate made her video, and I was like, Gray, go comment on there. I gave you a shout out that you're the one who told me about it. And I was just getting like stuck with my current work in progress, not for Inimitable Books, but my own current one. And I started doing a new outline in ellipsis, and it's just like helping jog something. Like it like dislodged whatever block I had. So I'm excited.
I just saw Regina's comment. I
saw that.
Anything. I was looking down at my phone, but I was looking down. I was doing the Forest app.
I know, but I saw the comment and I thought.
Although I have done my own live streams when I used, like years ago, when I used to do them at nighttime, and I did 100% fall asleep. Like it was a break and I had the camera off, but I 100% fell asleep.
Okay, we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. I'm gonna have breakfast and take my meds. So if you have any meds that you need to take or supplements, you should do that. How'd you do?
I forgot to unmute the thingy, and so I was like, "Did do," and then I was like, "Oh my god, I think Zara might be talking to me." Um,
No, I
did-
actually just started talking because all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's 0.
okay, good. And then I probably cut you off. Okay, I'm a jerk.
You didn't cut me off.
Oh, okay. I need to finish drinking this. That's what I need to do. I made coffee and I changed my clothes because I was trying to be all cute in Easter, and then I was like, no, I just want to be cozy. So, I'm wearing my sweater though. So there you go.
Nice. My
And
mug, I got that as a mug.
yes, I did see that.
I got one from each line. So I got a
Yeah.
sweater for the writer one, a t-shirt for the reader one, and the oligarchy as a mug.
I just really like the sweaters are really like comfy because I have had mine for over a year, and like the low nothing's like faded or anything, and I got it like really big, so it's like really cozy. So I changed my clothes, made my coffee, and filled out my daily planner for the day. And that was my that's what I did. And then I shared the stream of my stories.
Nice. Thank you. I always forget to do that.
Oh, and I took my medication and vitamin D. So
that's good. I ate half my breakfast. I also started. So Forrest had briefly done like a cool background, and then I went back to their plain background. But when I had decided, like, oh, they have a new background, let me take screenshots of all the Forrest things so that when my co-hosts pick a tree, they actually know what they're getting, and let me remove options that don't look good at 25 minutes. I hadn't done that with the plain trees because I was like, they have a new background. Why would I do that now? But now that they only have the original background, I have to do it all over again.
oh,
So I'm slowly doing that.
that stinks. For the longest time I was like, I'm not gonna upgrade to like their like pro or whatever thing in the app because I only use it here. Yeah, plus I've started using it while I'm working, and I'm like, I want different trees. So I think I'm finally gonna like upgrade because I have this because if you don't, you only get like 3 trees. And I'm like, do I really need
But you've been using it that you can go to the store and unlock stuff.
Yes. But then yes, I could do that.
But do that first before you start paying for a subscription.
That's the thingy. And even though I use this like every single day, I don't have that many coin thingies. I only have 1,804. Oh no, because I just did one. 1,813 of the little coin thingies.
Right. So what I do is I unlock the more expensive ones first.
Yeah.
That you want, because there isn't a single 1,800 one. I think the highest they go is like a 1,200 one.
Yeah.
If you get that and then you're like, ooh, I'm excited because I have more, then you can like you'll want to keep planting type of thing, and then you build it up again, and then you get another. And I would exhaust the actual store
before
you do the plus, because I did plus because I run these streams.
Right.
And I've had the app for like a decade. So I've literally unlocked everything there is to unlock.
Right. Because I'm like, do I really need to like really pay money because I just want prettier trees when I'm working? No, that's really stupid. But also, it's
no,
really
if it's motivating and it helps you, it's not stupid. But given there's a like, what's the word? Stopover or like step in the middle, or you know what I mean? Like I'm like, let's do that first.
I like that. That's why I've kind of been waiting. So I was like, I'm just gonna talk to Zara because you know all about the app, right? Because I've been going back and forth because I'm like sitting there at work and I'm like,
Yeah, no, I mean, I get wanting it,
Because
but
it's not
if
that
it's
important.
literally just because you want newer trees and not specifically that you want the 5 quote unquote mysterious trees that they didn't even
No.
bother naming this time because they were all fantasy ones.
On pretty things.
Yeah, so that yes. That's what I mean.
Yeah, like, it
And then
just
there are certain ones that require time crystals. So if every single day you do the third listed task in the focus challenge, then get
interesting.
you'll get crystals and not have to pay.
Interesting. I didn't even know there was a focus challenge. All I do is I click the thing because what I figured out works best for me when I'm working, especially when I have to like sit at my desk for a really long time, instead of planning like I'm going to work for this many hours and then take a 30-minute lunch. I don't do that. Instead, I just like bake my like what would be like an hour throughout the entire day. So I do like kind of like this and I'm like, cool, I get a little break. So I just use the Forest app because
Yeah.
it keeps me from also scrolling on my phone while
But
I'm
also currently in the Forest app, hold on, let me leave the room. And I will set up the next one momentarily. But if your app is updated to the most recent thing, every month they have a challenge up here as well. Not just the forest, not just the focus app, which you get from the hamburger menu. But up here, their current event is the more time you plant, they'll give you free coins, they'll give you free time crystals, and you can use both of them to unlock other trees.
see, this is why I needed to talk to you first.
Because I've gotten so because I have Plus, I get the VIP pass. You could literally pay for the VIP pass to help unlock more coins and crystals just for the duration of this event, which is going on for 24 more days. And they basically need you to plant 4,000 minutes in total. But I have extended my max by going to settings and saying extend time limit to 3 hours, and I set that every single night I'm going to sleep.
Oh, that's so smart. This is why I needed to talk to you first.
So since starting the challenge, I've unlocked 45 plus 15 is 60 plus 40 is 100, 140. I've unlocked 140 time crystals, which normally you'd have to pay money for. And on this, because this is the one I use when I'm going to sleep, I've unlocked more, but I actually need to
That's like
up,
really smart.
but I
Putting
need
it
to
up.
up the ante on the Inimitable account because that's the one I use all the planting with. So I am 800 minutes behind between the two accounts. So I'm going to start using this to go to sleep as well in the future. And it's in 24 hours, but yeah. And then if you do the focus challenge every single day, you have 3 tasks per day that you can complete. And it resets at noon Eastern every day, with the clock change and stuff. And you'll see every month complete 25 daily challenges to unlock a new plant for free. And this was actually one of the ones that they had given to Plus subscribers
Oh,
early. But so that's why they have a bank now where they can be like, we'll roll this out to everyone later.
I like it. I like this one.
Regina, I mean, you could also ask me because I'm the one who gave Veronica her iPad. But I would do, if you do a ton of art, I would do 256. Because 128 might be too little. Okay. Candy tree. Okay. Oh, I don't remember if I finished. I also, in addition to eating half my breakfast and the forced stuff that I was talking about, I took all my meds and I measured out my supplements, as in like I took all this stuff out, but I have not. Mara, Regina likes the heart behind you, and a bit ago, Veronica had said she said loves the neon heart, but also loves the greenery behind you, and I'd forgotten to say that. And yeah, Veronica, I knew you were gone. Regina had just asked you a question after you had said you were lurking, so I was answering it for her because I knew you probably weren't at the screen. I'm awake, I swear.
I hate when like I make coffee and then I don't like it.
No.
I only use like the little pods or whatever, but I only had a few left, and Jason really likes making coffee, and he only knows how to do it with like the pods and stuff because it's my coffee maker can like convert to where you put like the filters and stuff, but and you can make anywhere from like 1 cup all the way up to like a whole pot if you're using just like the filter and the other stuff. So trying to figure out like the right amount of coffee to put in when you're using that thing and you're just doing 1 cup is really, really hard. And I did too much. It's way too strong and I don't like it.
Can you pour part of it into like another mug? No, that's not how that would just change the amount, not dilute it. Well, actually, it would, because if you took some of it out, you'd have more space to be able to add other hot water, which would then allow you to dilute it.
Well, there's a lot of space, so I think I could just add hot water because I'm like, I don't, because the other thing is I use the last of my coffee creamer. So if it was like, I could just dump it and start over, but I don't have anything else to like. It's fine, but water is a good idea. I might just like dilute it with a little bit of water. Or like a splash of like regular milk or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just try diluting it with something.
It's just like really sad because coffee is my favorite thing. And so then when I have coffee that I don't like and it's my favorite thing, it makes my morning sad.
Amara, are you entering the room?
Oh, no, because yes, I just wasn't paying attention because I was
okay. I just want to make sure.
No, you just need to nudge me.
That's fine.
I am in.
Ooh.
This one's a very pretty tree.
Mhm.
Jesse picked out this tree, I think.
Cool.
Yes.
I like that you mixed it up. They are now forever enlisted in helping
Yeah.
your trees.
Yes. Oh, that would be such a good idea. I don't have ice cream, but now I want ice cream.
Something to think about for the future.
Yes. Thanks.
Also, those 2 boxes on my bed are purposely on camera so that I remember to measure them and weigh them so I can mail them tomorrow.
I have so many boxes to send to Lindsay that I literally have just been in my car for 6 days to take to the post office. This has been like a 2-month/2.5 year process of sending her stuff. Like, I've had a giant box that I'm like, every time I get things, I just throw them in this box. I'm like, I'm gonna mail you this box. I've been telling her I've been going to mail this box to her for over 2 years. It's now in the car. And then also I was like cleaning out my pantry and I had a bunch of stuff, and she's like, I'll take it. And I'm like, all right, you want me to literally ship you macaroni and cheese and top ramen? And she's like, yes, please. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I have boxes of canned vegetables and macaroni and cheese and top ramen because my dad brings random stuff to my house and then my pantry gets too full. And so now apparently I'm sending the random things my father has brought to me to my best friend in another state. And I will be sending them tomorrow because they're in the car.
That's very funny.
Yes, it has to happen.
We're going to start the sprint at the top of the hour because at this point we're so close to it.
And what are you going to work on during the next sprint?
More of that, like, forest stuff, because I want to do it in order so that I know I haven't missed a single tree, but the trees you picked are like not immediate, but I did not update our thumbnail. So that's why I'm doing it.
I'm gonna fix my coffee, and then I have been like every time we're on stream, I've been working on that little like event planner spreadsheet thing, and the last thing that's on there is the cake for this like fictional wedding. And then once I decide the flavors, and kind of maybe an idea of what I would want it to look like, then I'm done with that. And then I have to actually get back to really figuring out, now I have all these things, and now where do I fit them into a new outline? So that's going to be the rest of the time that we're doing it. Is going back to reworking my outline now that I have actual.
At some point today, I also have to delete more emails because I keep getting a warning where it's like, you're using up like your email space because it's hosted through our website host. And then, so I just, yeah, I'm like, I gotta delete a bunch of old stuff that doesn't matter anymore.
You don't want to know how many unread emails I have across all my. So mine are just
no, but like even read emails that no longer matter.
I have 68,670 unread emails across all my different email things that I have. That's because I don't read my email, like, because there's so much that's like junk, and then it's like,
oh, I had to, after my first leg surgery, I completely, like, I still have the login to it, but I switched over to a different email address because I fell so behind. And now this my new email address is bad again because I've been so busy and so focused on like, yeah, I have to check the work email every day, but not important stuff doesn't come to my personal email that much. So what I
Yeah.
really need to do is unsubscribe from a bunch of things on both emails. But I just don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
So
I've just kind of given up. I'm just
I
like,
can't give up with the
the
work
work
one.
one you can't
Because like if
yeah.
I run out of space, I won't be able to get an important email.
Yeah, no, that's different. I also have like because I've done that so many times, I have like emails that are addresses that are 10 years old. I have a more recent one that's only 2 years old. That one is pretty much like cleared out, but there's other ones that I'm like, it's too hard. I don't care enough to go through and clean it up. Which is why my main email address though I almost never use for like anything that's not important. I just send it all to the other ones that I don't use anymore because then I know that it's just kind
Yeah.
of like junky stuff I don't care about.
Yeah. Okay, we've surpassed the top of the hour,
Oh,
like I
sorry.
planned, but it is still 2 minutes. Is enough. Yeah, 5 minutes, and it's an even number. So in 3, 2, 1, happy productivity, everyone. Also, hi, Auburn. How'd you do?
Good. I gave up on figuring out the wedding flavors because I got too overwhelmed. So instead I have an idea and then I just posted a thread on like wedding baking stuff, being like, can some like a professional, let's see if like I don't know if anybody will respond. Sometimes I'll post things and nobody sees it. The stuff I want people to see, like 10 people see. The stuff that is just weird,
I
unhinged.
know everyone talks about
30,000 people see it. Like it's insane. So hopefully somebody will actually see this because I want them to. The last time I did something like that was for my yard because I saw this like weird thing. I was like, is this a weed? Is this something I should cut? Whatever. So I just posted like maybe nobody will see it. And then a bunch of like professional like plant
Yeah,
people.
you gotta just go in and be like,
forget it. Like, and if nobody responds, then maybe I'll find a Reddit thread or something I can post to. But I'm just like, I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed and just trying, like, some of these things are important facts, but do I need to know the exact wedding flavor, cake flavors now when I'm not even going to be writing that scene for a while? No. Like,
oh, okay, yeah.
you know, like I need to know it, but
Like
I don't
eventually
know
you
it
do
today. Like,
because it could be a point of drama or just a sensory detail. But if someone's like, oh, I don't like that flavor, then does your character be like, oh God, I like can't pick this? Or it's like, no, this is a moment of where you are asserting yourself for what you want or what this couple wants or what I don't, like
yeah. There's a whole scene that's going to be about literally cake flavor, like because you get like they bake up like little samples or whatever. There's a whole scene written about it. But I like knowing that that scene is going to be there. I know where that scene is going to be. I also know I'm not going to be writing that scene for a really long time. So I have time to figure that out. I don't just because it's a lot like sometimes I get so focused on like the to-do list that I don't like I get too in the weeds with it. So I'm like, yes, this is something I need to fill out, but do I need to have every single line of this little planner thing filled out? No. I've done enough work that it's inspired, like it's helped me figure out the outline and where things need to go, which was the entire point. And now I need to stop getting so bogged down in details that I don't need to know today to make sure that I don't just pick something that's not right. So then I went back to like, now I have to actually redo my outline. And so I feel like I've also been like hiding in some of these details because like the outline and
yeah,
then
you're able to like procrastinate on it.
exactly. So now I'm like, now I have to do the actual work, and that part's a little scary.
Rude.
But I don't think you can see it from here. I did this last weekend. Hopefully I'm not sharing how messy. No, it's fine. It's like kind of blurry because I have like the filtery thing, but I make these little like sticky notes. And I figured out based on where I'm at right now, I need to add roughly 30,000 words. So all of those sticky notes are 30,000, like between, I have some that are 1,000 and then 500. And then once I do it, I can move it and stick it down here like a Kanban board, but it's on my closet door. So that was really fun to do last weekend.
Nice. A way that I've made this Canva design that you've seen a million times, Mara, the one with all the tree picks, is that I lock a lot of the design elements.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was like, I'm changing them, and let me just quickly screen share what this looks like. This was the new background, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And now they've gone back to this. And so I was like, okay, let me change the background color. But then I had to unlock this in order to make it smaller. Every single number was a different color. And I had to unlock that to change the color to this green, which like looks better here. Then it was like a dark teal that like was really pretty, but no longer really stood out against now that you have a brown bottom of each one. And it's just like, is this necessary? No, but it also is this necessary now? No, but it is actually really helpful for my sanity when people can pick their forest trees and not have to know the names, but then I can very quickly look while I'm making a thumbnail and be like, they picked 8. So this is the image I'm going for.
I can see how like that can be, that's a lot. And that my thought when you were explaining it, I was like, that's so much work when like the only people that see that part of it are the people that like stream with you. That seems like so much work. And that's so sweet that you put so much work into it. But then you kept explaining why it's important. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
But also it's like the first 25, like they don't change the order.
Yeah.
But it used to be this weird thing where they would release a tree and it was always like most recently released. And then they started doing this plus thing and then trees that you unlock. And it would sometimes be like, it would show up in recently unlocked or recently released, but in the order of when they first designed it, not when it was officially released to people. So then I would have to move things around in later ones. And that's when I started being like, okay, I need to pick my order and just leave it that way.
Yeah. I just think it's cool that you let everybody pick trees and you're not just like this, you stream with me and you get the trees I want. Like just that you're doing so much work just so that we can pick trees is really sweet.
For me, it's fun. And it also like has you all like a little bit more engaged. Not that you're signing up to co-host with me if you didn't care and weren't interested, but it's like, no, like this is a important thing to how we build our community. Let's put in the work for it.
I like it.
Let me see what your next, well, not your next. I think one of your children picked this.
Yes, the kids probably picked it.
So I was like, I don't think you've ever picked this, but I do like it. The oak trees are always fun in my opinion. So I've got no complaints.
I literally don't even remember what we picked because again, I usually just am like such a creature of habit. I've always picked the same trees. And so doing it this way, I was like, I don't remember, but then once I see it, I'm like, oh, I know which kid picked that because I can just tell based on knowing their personalities and their colors and stuff. I'm like, oh, I know which kid picked that one.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. This is today. This is yesterday. Okay, I didn't fully bullet journal still. Okay, I'll do that during the next sprint as well, so I'm caught up. Forest room code is, I just want to invite myself so I don't have to type it out. Give me a second, please. For November Golf, 7 Romeo Papa, X-Ray Sierra Golf. I get that X-Ray is short, but given it like has an R word in it, I kind of wish they had just picked xylophone.
Jason picked this one. I can remember because he says, I like it because it's blue and it looks like it has a face.
You know, I was literally thinking like, oh, it looks like it has features. right before he said that he said it has a face. Have you told your sons that Agnes is getting a sequel?
No, but Jason and I have talked a lot about, because the thing is so funny because like he's so reading. But we're doing a home readathon because last month they had a school one and they had like this whole thing that if they read 500 minutes and they had 2 weeks, that they got to be librarian for the day at school, which was by the day, it's literally like their class, like they go in.
Yeah.
And they when Jesse did it during his classes time and Jason, I think, did it during like another, like the littler kids time or something. He's like, I got to do everything but read the book, which is really cute. So we got to do, they loved it. And so they worked really hard. And I was like, cool. So now you showed me you can read 500 minutes in 2 weeks. So let's do it for like all 3 of us are doing our home readathon. I haven't figured out what my prize is for reading. They have to read 1,000 minutes. And they said, since mommy reads more, I have to read 1,500. So we all have to read.
I mean, that's fair. They're like, it needs to actually be a challenge for you. It can't just be like, oh, this is what I already do, and I'm older, so therefore automatically.
But, like, I asked Jesse, I was like, "Do you wanna read this one? Because you keep saying," and he's like, "But I can't until Jason finishes." And I'm like, "Jason's, like, taking forever. So do you just wanna read it?" And he's like, "I have to wait till Jason." So Jason has promised he's going to finish it, because he's really like, it's so funny because, like, he really likes it, but he does so much reading for school and homework that then he's,
No,
like,
sometimes
burnt
you
out,
get
you
burnt
know?
out. Like,
Yeah.
the last time I picked up a novel that, because I opened Regina's first book in her series and I'm like, I'm gonna binge this like crazy. My sleep schedule will be gone if I start this now, even though it is research for my current work in progress, as a way of being like, okay, let me like think about this as a writer, not just a reader, because normally when I read a contemporary romance, like, yeah, I know about the market, but given Inimitable hasn't published that yet, like, I'm not thinking about all the details of like, it's written in this point of view, it's written in this tense, this is how many points of view, these are like the emotional beats. Like, I haven't had to think about a lot of those things in a long time
Yeah.
because I have never fully written a contemporary romance, nor have I self-published one or traditionally published one as publisher or author. And so and whenever I take in new media, I want to be able to give it my full attention. So if someone's like, "Oh, you should watch a show," like, even if Chandra and her boyfriend were like, "You should watch a great British baking show," and I'm like, "Yeah, I want to. I just can't give it my full attention." Like, "It's a baking show," and I'm like, "No, no, no! Like, the first time I watch something, I want to pay attention to it." And then if I like end up playing it like a million times, like in the background as white noise for me while I'm working, that's different. So the most new content I've been able to take in, like maybe in the past 2 years on a regular basis, and even then it's not that regular, is like fanfic, which is normally one offs or like max 5 chapters and would be counted word count wise as a novella, barely even a novelette. Sometimes a short story if it's a single thing. But then, like last week, I found this fic that was so large and I just got sucked in and I got 30 minutes of sleep that night. I
Oh my
literally stayed up all night basically. Oh, I did stay up all night. And then because I was like, I can't have zero sleep, I slept for 30 minutes and then I went about my day and then really crashed. And now I'm like, okay ish on sleep. I'm still not perfect, but I'm getting better. Um, so yeah, anyway, that one was actually hit at a really good time because it was just, it's giving me certain thoughts while editing a certain book about like, okay, yes, let's make sure like this world building is really, really strong because I know how the author writes and I'm okay with it. But then it's like, oh, here's a reminder that people will sometimes do more world building and that doesn't, it's not necessarily a bad thing. And that I can read the fanfic that I have been and been like, okay, this is a little too heavy handed. So I wouldn't want it written that way in an Inimitable Books title or my own. But it's like it tips the scale a bit more in the world building for this type of thing. It not being a high fantasy book.
Yeah.
And it being like, but that world building helps, you know. So it's like, okay, every time I have a question, I am going to throw it out there. The author can choose to not address every single thing, but it's like, yeah, let's see how much we can put out there, especially because this is like the end of a series that I'm editing. So that hit at a good time, but there are other times where it's just like I'm reading fanfic that has nothing to do with what I am writing, what I am reading, or what I am publishing in any professional capacity, and that's also great.
That's good. Well, that's where it's like sometimes like I'll talk to my best friend and she'll be like, "I really want you to watch this show." And I'm like, "I just can't." Like if it's something that has a lot of episodes or something, and then she's like, "But you will watch like the trashiest reality shows." And I'm like, "Yes, because it's trashy reality." Like, yeah, I will watch Mormon Wives, which has like 10 episodes, and I'll watch it in a day and a half. And then when it's over, I'm like, "Oh, I need to start at the beginning because I just love it." But it's also because it's not like I don't have to like invest in like Handmaids, which is like a million thing, and it's so heavy, and there's probably a lot of episodes, or like there's these other shows. I'm like, yeah, but that's like a lot. There's just a lot of time, and I want to pay attention. That's why I keep
Well,
saying,
because we had a family friend visiting for my birthday, in like mid/late March, and he was telling my mom about this TV show, and I thought like, oh, I'm not going to engage because I'll get really sucked in and I won't be able to like walk away, but I'm too busy to be able to do that and indulge in that. And I wound up watching the first episode with them, and it's Paradise and it stars Sterling K. Brown, and I'm like, I'm really excited to watch more. And there are a few enough episodes that like if I didn't have stuff happening, I'd be like, yeah, I could watch this in a day and then move on with my life and then take a little break before starting season 2. But it's just I can't. Whereas at least when Bridgerton came out, it's like I've read the books and I was up on seasons 1 and season 2 when they immediately came out. I think season 3 I was a little bit late. I didn't watch it the moment it dropped. Because it came out around the time that I was recovering from a surgery. And I do remember one day I was watching and I realized I retained none of it. So then I actually had to go back and watch it again at a different time. So like this, I could be like, you know, for that new season, it's still built into a world that I've already invested in. But with Paradise, it's like I want to give it the attention it deserves. Yeah. I just can't right now. So that the fact that I even did that one episode was like unusual for me lately. But I loved it.
That's good. I've been waiting to watch because I keep promising my sister I'm going to watch it, but it's like one of those things I just like. I love Bridget. I just want to lay in bed and do nothing all day and just watch it. And I do feel like I need to pay attention. But with that one, and I know we probably have to start the sprint. I had not watched Bridget at all until season 3. I watched the first 3 seasons and Queen Charlotte in like one weekend.
Queen Charlotte is still the best of all of them. But
it wrecks me. I can't even talk about it. I can't talk about it. I'll cry.
I know. Oh
God, a child is coming.
How are we doing? We're good. We're a little bit sleepy at the start. We're working on stuff and also trying to tell ourselves that like what we're working on is maybe not the most important thing on our plates right now, but it's still good work to get done. And yeah. So we're gonna start the sprint. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. How did we do?
Both children have awoken and they did not want to wait to do Easter stuff. So the Easter Bunny had left out their baskets for them last night and then hid a bunch of eggs around the house. And so we did the whole egg hunt and dug into candy and stuff because the Easter Bunny's brought them chocolate. So they had chocolate for breakfast. And then I got the eggs and one of them had cracked and the dye had come through. So it looks really creepy. It looks like a weird, creepy, like zombie apocalypse egg. So there we go. So that's what I did. How did you do?
I did more forest app stuff. When I was taking screenshots, I realized I took screenshots of just everything, and I can't decide if I like before I thought this didn't look good enough to include as an option when it's only 25 minutes long. But now I don't know. Like, what do we think?
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Jesse was asking me about candy, so I kind of missed. What are we looking? Oh, we're looking at the middle. Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Okay, like I just don't know because it's so short compared to what it is when you plant it for like a full hour, but
No,
like
I
it's
think
still a
it's good.
golden fortune bowl.
And it's also accurate to like what it'll look like when it
But
is.
that's what I mean. But if it like there was like one or two that like I skipped because they didn't look good at 25 minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think
So
it
I
looks
don't
good
know
though.
if I should add this back in.
I like it.
Okay. Okay, so now the numbering is going to be slightly off by what this was. So I'm going to leave that in. But it's going to look different. It's going to shift all the numbers for people who signed up, which is why I've been really pushing people to sign up for the co-hosting spots so that I know what numbers they are because I had a feeling this was going to happen.
Keep choking myself.
Don't choke yourself.
I just keep sitting on the sweater and then like up on me. But yeah, like this morning I was like, I'm gonna be cute. And I was like, no, I don't care. I just want to be cozy.
Got it.
I can check doing Easter off my list because I was gonna try to keep them in their room until we were done and then we would do it. But they woke up earlier than I expected because they were up pretty late and they're 11. So there's no waiting.
Hold on. I'm trying to see why did I not include the Snapdragons are still available? No, they're not. That's so confusing because there are certain bonus trees that should have gone away but didn't. And then other ones did, and it's just very confusing.
Yeah, that seems like a lot to keep up with every month.
I don't do it every month if it makes you feel any better.
That does actually.
It's more just like I do what. I mean, this doesn't look nice at 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Opinion.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's
like, yeah, it looks unique compared to everything else, but compared to what it's supposed to be, it just looks sad.
Yeah.
So I am purposely skipping that one.
And
Okay.
yes, Regina, the boys are getting older. What's crazy is that I don't remember. Oh, I was just like, I don't log on to Facebook like almost ever anymore. But when I did the other day, it was like, oh, look at this memory. And it was from me sharing a live stream that I was doing with you, Zara. And it was before Inimitable Books. It was from like, I think it was like 2020 or like early 2021. And I was like, oh my God. Like the time, it doesn't, you don't realize like how much time has actually gone by. And I'm like, I really have known you that long. And that
I
means that
know.
people that I've met through knowing you, like my kids were, they were so little, they were like, remember when they used to hack into my Instagram and send you
I
guys
know, and I would message you and be like,
what are you doing?
I'm like, are you okay?
They were just like hacking, like little 5, 6-year-old little weirdos, just like, but they're so like their brains are just incredible. But yeah, but so yes, Regina, it's just kind of cool saying that. I'm like, but that's because I've been, hey, so the people that I've met through you have literally basically watching my kids grow up too. It's kind of cool. So
Pretty dang cool.
but also that means that I'm older and we don't talk about that part.
Okay. 5, uniform. Zulu. Whiskey, Charlie, Alpha, Sierra, Golf.
Oh, that one's cute.
Regina, so it's okay because Amara's on screen, but if she were like watching on YouTube, she wouldn't see this, wouldn't be highlighted for her because it's not her full username, which is Amara Franklin. So just so you know.
Yeah, Regina, I think they were like 7. Yeah. It's just crazy. Like when Jason even woke up and came in here, I was looking at him and I'm like, he still is like sometimes looks like such a little like a little kid. And then other time I'm like, what is this tallish looking thing that's very sassy? They're preteen and then they're going to be teenagers before I know it. And that is going to terrify me because I don't know what that thing was.
That's funny. Sorry, I just did something wrong in my planner. And I'm like, whoa, let's put that back. That's not what you meant to do. My brain was like, oh yeah, move something to 12. And instead, I accidentally moved it to the 12th. And I'm like, no. So I'm just fixing that now before I forget. There we go. Okay. We're going to start the next sprint. Not just the next sprint, the final sprint. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. How'd you do? I got through number, I think, yeah, I got through 38 on redoing these out of 140.
So I decided to not try to rush through this step and like I need to think a little bit. So I keep saying I'm going to write my review for Grandma's Little Secret after work, but then I get off work and I'm so brain exhausted. I was like, I need to do that today. So I started to work on that. But I had downloaded this like reading tracker thing, which is really helpful because I went in, it's like on Google Sheets, but I was able to go in and like tweak some of the things because one of the problems I found for myself when trying to like give a book a rating or like a review is that I go on 100% on vibes. And even though I know, especially as a writer and somebody who studied writing and creating, like I know plot and character and I know I need to think deeper, but I just go on like everything's a 4-star because I like the book.
Well,
But
I don't review a book that I don't give at least a 4-star to.
oh, 100%. No, 100%. But I'm just saying like everything, but in my opinion, like I just look at it like just in general, I think every book is great because I just go on vibes when I'm initially thinking. And I'm like, I need to think more critically about things. So with every book that I ever put into this tracker, I was able to also go in and like change the weighting because initially everything was like equally weighted between like plot and world building and structure and all. And then also I changed one of them to just enjoyment and I made that weighted a lot heavier because sometimes something might not be like there are some like romance books that are like really plot wise and like world building and character, but it's really fun. And so I feel like that needs to kind of have a little bit of a heavier weighting, but it helps me to really sit down with any book that I write to think, okay, based on just looking at character development, just looking at plot and pacing and looking at it. And then it tells me my actual, like what star rating I should give something for actuals. Grandma's Little Secret gets 4 out of 5, 4.5.
Oh, that's cool. What app is this?
So it's just one I found.
Regina, I think it's
online.
because they track all of us across the internet.
Yeah. I can send you, I think, because I just found, I was just like watching YouTube videos and she does like booktube stuff. And I think I paid like $5 for it. But it's really cool because it comes with like, there's so many pages. And it's really fun though, because you can put your stats and your, like it tracks literally, it took me probably 2 hours to set it up at the beginning of the year because I wanted, like, there's some pages I don't need, some pages I do need. But it was really fun. Like, there's also, for like spicy books, you can put like the spicy score on it. So that way, like, you know, like how spicy are the books. Cause sometimes you'll be like, what is my actual taste in spice? And also there's also a gore score. So there's like blood drops for that one. I gave Mother Mercy a lot of gore, a very high gore score, but I was like, I love it. So that actually told me that I can handle a lot more gore than I thought I could. Which also makes sense because I love horror movies so much and like horror movies don't bother me, but I didn't think that I could handle a lot of gore in a book. And after seeing like how much I love that, I'm like, actually, I could go a little gory.
Yeah, I think it's the context though.
I also
like,
think don't like
you know, if it was bad things happening to good people, you'd be like, no.
Well, just in general, like I watch a lot of like I love slasher film. Like when I start talking about the horror movies and this, like my inner in like psychopath, I think that I like we all have when I think she comes out really strong when I talk about horror movies. Anyways, but this whole thing, the whole point is I went through and I was updating it because I haven't updated it for any of the books that I have read. But it's very helpful for me to force me to think beyond just like vibes. When I'm usually giving a star rating for any book, I'm like, did I like it or not? And it breaks it down for me based on what because I was able to change it based on what I think should be weighted the way that works for me. But it's really fun too because there's this like cover gallery. And so you insert on one tab, you will insert as you're reading books, like you can just download the cover of the book and then input it. And then in every other thing, there's like tier rankings and star ranking pages. And then there's just like this really fun cover thing. So then at the end of the year, you can see like all the books that you read, all the covers that you read and what you rated them. like the star rating on it, and so that's really fun to kind of see as the months go
You get
by,
to
like more.
rate covers as well, because that would be fun to be like, you like covers with these trends.
Well, it's a Google Sheet, so you could literally just change whatever you want. Like, because what's really cool is when you download it, it all comes kind of like pre-done how the creator did it. I'll send it to you,
Yeah.
but then you can go in, like the very last tab on the thing is like all the settings. So that's where you can go in and you can change things. So you could literally just like duplicate a page and then just change everything for it. And you could have a page where you just rate the covers. I'm actually going to make a copy of it and change all of it so I can do the same thing for like books and movies, because I was like, I really like doing this. Can I find one that's similar to this? But I couldn't find one that was similar for books and movies. I was like, I could literally just change all of the settings and do it for books and movies too. But like I was able to go in because you can change everything. So when it lists like who's the publisher of the book, I was able to add Inimitable because I read a lot of the Inimitable title. So I was able to add that in there. There's like art tracker. There's so much. Like I'll stop talking, but there was so much on
No,
it.
that's so
Really fun.
cool. That's really, really fun.
And it makes me want to read even more because I really
Which we love.
like this. And I like digging into like the different stats and what is my percentage. And then there's different challenges you could do where I again like I duplicated one of the pages. So one of them is like a lot of people I guess were doing like 26 books they want to read in 2026. And then there was also one that was like 12 instead, or you could do 12 and 12. And I changed that to like there's 6 nonfiction books that I want to read over the course of the year. So again, I like changed it. So I have 26 fiction books I want to read, and then 6 nonfiction books I want to read throughout the year. And you can just go in and mark them as read as you go. Yeah, so it's really fun. That's what I did. But that helped me. So now when I'm the point of all of that was now when I go back to write my review, when we get done for Grandma's Little Secret, I can actually look at, okay, I gave the world building a 5 because going into like 1985 and like as somebody like I was born in the 80s, I was actually born in 85. So like I don't necessarily know 85 life, but like there was still a lot of things growing up in the 80s and 90s that like going back to that time period talking about like the payphones and just the freedom of like riding your bike around, like there's so many cool things like in the world. So being able to know like, okay, I rated the world building this and now I can talk a little bit better other than just being like, I really like the book and you should read it.
I think that's really cool. I don't really write reviews anymore just because like I don't want anything that I review for people to see it as like, oh, this is connected to Inimitable Books.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it could maybe help me get better submissions if people knew what I liked, but I also just, as I was saying even earlier, where it's like, even the books I do have time to read, most of them are fanfic, and you're not supposed to put those on reading trackers.
Yeah.
Like Goodreads and stuff. But if I had an individual tracker like this, I could.
Yeah, because this is just like on my computer, like, and it's Google Sheets, so it can go on any device that I'm on or whatever. So I'll find the original link and I'll send it to you. It takes a lot, like you don't have to customize. It took me a really long time because I like to set things up the way I'm going because I'm more
no, I do too. I 100% understand that. Like as I'm doing this for stuff.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I really like it. Like there's so many like the pages. There are a few pages that I did hide, but and like this is the order I put it in is like goals, monthly stats. There's a habit tracker that I wanted to really use it. I haven't been, so I might get rid of it just because now we're a few months into the year. But like you can put in
well, maybe you just move it to the end and then in like 2027 if you like duplicate the whole spreadsheet.
That's a good idea. Because like I wanted to do it, but I'm like, I don't really care to track how many hours per day I read throughout the whole year. there's like your monthly TBR, so you can put down the books you want to read that month. And then the main page, and I should move this closer because I'm realizing you use this the most, is like the books you read, and then you put your cover image, your title, the author, the status, pages read, and then if you listen to it on audio, you can put in your hours listened.
Yeah, I think maybe that should be first or right after the goals page.
Yeah, I'm
like
definitely
your monthly stat should maybe come after what it's pulling from.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing, like, as I'm using it more. I just moved it because this is kind of the main thing. Like, as you fill this in, it starts kind of filtering through the other pages for you. So I put hours listened, but I put the actual hours because I do listen to things faster. So I was able to kind of estimate when you read it. And then
So wait, if you listen to like a 15-hour audiobook, but you listen to it on 1.5 speed, are you putting in 15 hours?
No, I'm like,
in...
okay, so for example, I went because I don't keep track on the day. So I went to see, like, when I was looking at, because I listened to Grandma's Little Secret on audio. So I looked at it and I was like, okay, so it says when you click on it, it's, what does it say? 7 hours and 52 minutes is the length. And I listened to it on 1.5 speed. So it doesn't have to be exact. So I think I rounded that up to like 8 hours because it's so close to it. And then I divided that by 1.5. And that's where I got 5.33. So I just 5 hours. Like,
right.
Because like I don't really like, it doesn't have to be.
Well, like, I mean, I would write down the 0.33 because that adds up.
Yeah, that is true. That's actually a good point. So I'm going to do that. So yeah, and then you put like when you listen to it, and then it has like the rating, and you can then go through in the next tab. That's where you put what I have. There is there's 7 spots. I think I like took one of them out though. And so I just kept plot and pacing, characters, writing, world/setting, enjoyment, and then relationships. So like how they interact. So, and then you give each one of those an individual rating. And then based on the weighting that you had preset up in like the settings, then it tells you how you actually rated the book. So, Grandma's Little Secret got 4 stars. And so did Mother Mercy. But it's interesting looking at it, like certain, and I'm not going to break down where each one was, but certain things were weighted or were marked close but slightly different, but they still ended up with the same overall rating. And so then it puts 4 stars on there. And then like Well Met that I read, that I really, really enjoyed that one. That one had a 3.5.
Based on the actual
like what I put in for like plot and pacing, characters, the writing, and then the world had the highest thing because I loved being in the like Renaissance fair, the enjoyment. And that one was really hard for me, as I was like, I really did enjoy the book, but I was like, but was I have to keep listening. I can't put this down. Like, no, it was something that when I had the time, I was like, oh, I have some time. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to pop it in and listen to it. It wasn't like, I have to listen to this today. Whereas Mother Mercy and Grandma's Little Secret, I couldn't stop.
But like for me, and I find this interesting, is that I might have books where I don't feel like I have to keep reading. I just tend to be like, this is my only time to read.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll, like, if I guaranteed I'd know when I was reading next, I would maybe do that. So it's more for me about like how much I enjoyed as I'm reading it.
Yeah.
And like for a thriller, yes, if I feel like I could put it down and not pick it up, that's a problem because that's supposed to be part of the genre. And I feel like that even with mystery, where it's like you need to be curious enough that you want to keep reading. But like if it's a feel-good romance and I'm enjoying myself, it's not necessarily like, oh my God, I have to find out what happens next. It's like, I'm curious enough to keep going, but it's not about like how much of a page turner is it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that's where it's like, I just kind of like, what is my gut kind of tone? Like, how am I feeling? Yeah. But like, there's also things where it's like, okay, so when I was with both, and not to just talk about your books, but like the books or the books you publish, but those are the vast majority of the books that I've read this year. But so
I'll take it. I love it. I love your reviews.
Like, when I was reading Mother Mercy, you literally know what my thoughts are because I was just, it took me a little bit to get into it, but part of it was just because I was forcing myself to start it at a time when I knew I didn't have a lot of time to read. And the beginning part was a little hard for me, and you know why.
Y
And so
yes,
I needed to take
and
a
that's why
break.
I was like, wasn't even sure if you were gonna read it, and I love
Yeah,
that you were able to, and I love that
yeah,
you
and I gave myself
enjoyed it
like
as much
really
as you did and
space.
wrote that, like, gorgeous review.
I'm glad you liked the review. I was worried that it wasn't good. Um, but the point is, like, I took the space that I needed after that to like, okay, before I get back into it, I need to like make sure that I'm in a good place before I continue. And then once I did, I was in a better place because I think I started it in a place where I mentally wasn't ready to start the book. And then when I did, I couldn't put it down. And I kept having to text, like I was texting you every thought in my head. And I was basically doing the same thing when I was listening to Grandma's Little Secret, but with my friend that had already listened to it. And so then I was like, oh my God, and this part, and then this part, and this part. And so that to me is like when I have to tell somebody every thought in my head about a book, I know it's like one of the better ones that I've read, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. No, that I do love.
And for me,
Um,
like a 4 star is kind of like a 5 star for other people, but I reserve 5 stars for like, this is
I reserve 5
the
stars
book
for,
of my
like,
heart.
this
Like,
if I had space for multiple favorite shelves, I would.
exactly.
So, like, The Giver, I have read multiple times. Um, Well Met, I have read multiple times. Um, uh, I'm blanking. Like, I can picture all the covers so clear. Fire by Kristen Kishore, which was like the prequel to Graceling. I've read multiple times. No other book in that series has like made it to like where
Yeah.
I would have given it a 5 star. Some of them I felt like 3, some of them I felt like 4, and some, and also other favorites of mine were like the Sweet Evil series by Wendy Higgins. And it's like for me, how much I rate a book is not like the prose is gorgeous and could be made into a tattoo. It's
Yeah.
not that like, yeah, sometimes I care, but it's about how much I enjoy the book.
Yeah, like 5 stars have to be like ones that I just like. I think honestly, the only books I've ever genuinely given a 5 star or like would is like Jane Eyre, but I've read that book a million times and it's one of my favorite books of all time. And also part of it's because it's like my Nana
Yeah.
was one of her favorite books. And so I've read it, read it probably a dozen times since I was like 13. And then The Secret Life of Addie LaRue. Like that one, like changed something in my brain. And
Yeah.
like that's why that is the book that will always, when I change out books on the book clock, that one will never change. It's always the 12 o'clock and it will never ever change because that
Yeah.
is one of my favorite books that I've ever read. And I know a lot of people that don't like it, but to
Yeah.
me, like that is one of my favorite books. It is my favorite book of all time.
Yeah. I mean, I love Pride and Prejudice. I know a lot of people who, if this was like their first time reading a romance and had never read a historical one and not read an epistolary novel, I'd be like, I love it. It is like foundational to us being able to expect a happily ever after in a romance nowadays. But if your extent to romance exposure is rom-coms, like movies, where
Mhm.
like things are always happening, there's not a lot of waiting around, I wouldn't push them to that first. I would probably
Yeah.
be like, oh, read Well Met or read A Sweet Mess or read, and so many things instead.
But also, if somebody loves sweet romances, you would never suggest to them to read Jane Eyre, which, like, growing up
I
and as an adult, realizing that that has been my favorite book since I was like in middle school, it explains so much about just like how that taste has never changed, though. Like, I always seek out and enjoy things that are like a little bit darker. And so, like if you
well,
have Pride and Prejudice versus Jane Eyre, like are they both like similar time period, wrote technically like a little bit of like romance stuff? Yes, but one's like a gothic romance, like one's like
yeah, and like I
traditional.
love Jane Eyre for what it is, but for
Yeah.
people who are like, oh, it's so romantic, I'm like, gothic romance, yes, but if you're like, I'd like to be in this relationship, I'm like, no.
No, it's not. But it is. But then it's like, and then when they come together and there's a fire and then he has no eye.
No, I'm not saying there aren't
No,
like
I'm saying, like, no,
awesome
you get
moments
it.
in it, but like I think a lot of people nowadays will go back to older books and be like, this was unhealthy as hell. Like, this is a bad book. And I'm like, no, just because it's like not something we'd want now doesn't make it a bad book.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you might enjoy it less if
You
you
might enjoy
only
it.
want, if you only like books where you feel like you could comfortably live in that world.
We're like growing up, like there's this I think I read it for the first time when I was like, sometimes I look at the books that I read at like 15, 16, and I'm like,
I read Room by Emma
interesting,
Donahue when I
okay.
was like 10 or 11. That was like not okay. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing. I read it also right after reading The Lovely Bones.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that was
And
good.
like a year or two after having read 13 Reasons Why, I started reading adult fiction.
Yeah. No,
That
and I was
wasn't like
like,
historical, but
yeah.
like really upsetting
So
things, like way too young.
yeah, I know I was like so I want to say I was a sophomore, so I was like 16, I think, when I read this book, but it is an adult like historical romance book. But it was written in the, I think, like 80s. But it's called Whitney, My Love. I've by Judith McNaught. I still read it and enjoy it, but as an adult rereading it again, I'm like, that's a lot more problematic than I realized when I was
I mean,
16
so
years
much of the
old. It was
historical
like
romance genre
early
is filled with
2000s.
problematic stuff. Like,
So much problematic stuff. And so it's like, does it prevent me from still enjoying the book? No. Does it prevent me from maybe recommending it to people as much as I would have in the past? Yeah.
and
Um,
when I say the historical romance genre is filled with a lot of problematic things, I am more specifically talking about Regency, because things about like World
and
War
this,
II and like a bunch of other things that I've read,
yeah,
like, are great.
yeah.
But
No, this is a Regency,
if
like,
we're talking
yeah,
about Regency
yeah.
romance, that like I like Jane Austen, as I said, but also the Effington series, which unfortunately is not on audiobook. I like it so much more than Bridgerton. Like, the books of Bridgerton are like, how did I get through these? Like, this is so problematic. And the show makes it so much less problematic, which is why I
Yeah.
enjoy the show.
Yeah. But even on the show too, there's the one thing in the first book that, or like the first, I haven't read the
Oh,
books.
they fumbled that so bad. I was like, the book actually handled this
Oh,
well.
did they really? Because it was a little
Oh
like,
no,
when I
they
watched it, I was like,
absolutely were like, we're not going to handle this. And
that's a choice.
I'm like, that's a really big choice, because the book actually handled this one really problematic thing well.
Yeah. Like there's one thing in like the book that I had read, and I've read it quite, like it's still a book that I love. Part of it is just because of the nostalgia of reading it and loving it over the years. But I remember like it was the first book. I was in high school. I was reading it. It has almost 900 pages. It's like over 800. It's like 850 pages. I think I read it in like 5 days. I remember getting in trouble in science class because I was sitting in the back because I was reading instead of paying attention. And my teacher was like, "This is why you're failing." Which, I mean, true. But it's fine. But like, I loved it. But there is some problematic things, and there is a situation somewhat similar to what happened in Bridgerton, but a little bit reversed. But the motivations were different. It was not a great thing. But the thing about it is they did handle it in the book correctly. Of like, this is a very bad thing, and the person that almost does the bad thing realizes that they did something horrible and then changes because of it. But
Okay.
it's still
Okay.
like, even looking at it as an adult, I'm like, this guy's like really mean
Yeah.
and does like really mean things. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, should I have read that at 16 and thought this was a romance?
Well, there are
Um,
people who say that their favorite Bridgerton books are like Benedict's book or Francesca's book. And I'm like, none of the men weren't toxic in the books,
okay.
but they were like some of the more toxic ones. Like, they were definitely more toxic than Anthony or the Duke.
Mm.
And I'm like, those are your favorite ones?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen in season 4 because again, I haven't read the books or anything, and I've been questioning whether or not I wanted to read them or not because, like, I
If
do,
you
but there's
wanna
so
have
many
any
things I
chance
wanna
of
read.
enjoying season 4, I would actually recommend you watch it first, because if you read the book, you're gonna be so mad
Really?
at a certain character where you're gonna be like, "I don't even care. I don't wanna, like."
This was the conversation I had with my sister. I have many sisters, but there's one I talk to every single day. Is I got this idea because I did this a few years ago, and sometimes I just like to hurt myself in like fiction, especially if I'm going to be writing something that makes me feel sad. I start like consuming a lot of things that make me feel sad first, right?
I do that as well.
And so a few years ago, I thought it was a really great idea because one of my favorite movies is A Star is Born. And I had seen the 2018 version, but I'd never seen any of the others. So I thought it was a great idea to watch all 4 versions back to back in one day.
Why? Even I know not to do that.
The amount of pain. And then I thought it was a really great idea. I told my sister, Bobby, I was like, so here's what I think I'm going to do. This is a couple weeks ago when I was going to watch it. I was like, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to feel better by watching Bridgerton the next day. She was like, absolutely not. Bridgerton this season is going to make you cry. And I was like,
Bridgerton this season is gonna make you cry.
yeah. Okay. See, now that you're saying it too, that tells me it's
Especially
going to.
the second half. The first half you might not cry. I
Okay.
didn't, but that's also
The second half will make me cry because I like going into things really blind too. So I don't really know what's
okay. I won't say anything else.
Yeah.
Like, if you want, just have tissues the whole time.
Yeah. So I'm definitely not going to be doing both of those things in the same week. And then I am absolutely going to rewatch all 4 Star is Borns though, because actually, no, I think I'm going to skip the 1970, I think it's 72 one because I don't like it. I like Barbara Streisand, but I hate the guy in the third iteration of the story. And he does things that, like, in every version, it's like a different couple, but like the male version, he does things in the 1972 version that that male character would never have done. So I don't like it.
Your prerogative. I am gonna say I think I need a bit of a screen break. So
Yeah, we need to go. I'm gonna stop talking because
no, it's fine. I loved hearing about the book review thingy.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
I need to go hang out with my babies and watch.
Well, send it to me so I can pay for it. So that
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna send the copy of it, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'll send you the link to where I got it from.
Yeah. Because I want to support the
Yes.
creator.
Yeah.
But again, thank you. Or not again, we didn't do it at all. You could check out Amara here. Also buy stuff from her. The oligarchy items, money from that will be going to the ACLU. I don't remember what percentage you said, but she also has writer and reader stuff as well. I got one of each. And please check out inimitablepooks.com, all of our titles. Mother Mercy as a hardcover is still $7.73 on Amazon, which is less than the $9.99 ebook. So, like, grab that deal because I don't know how long it's going for because they did not consult us. So, just, share it, buy it, tell all your friends who are interested in like a female Dexter. Yeah, great book. I love it so much. Let me find the outro. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I will be streaming on Tuesday on Twitch, same username at Inimitable Books. And I have added everything to the website's event page. So thanks for being here. Bye.